Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay at home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight, got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet, cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. It has been an interesting pre-show conversation, to say the least. But we're here, and you're here, and we're glad that you're here. So, Danny, are you excited for what has hit the streaming services and been announced recently? Without going into too much detail,
there's too much, but yes, absolutely. I have it marked on my calendar for certain movies that are coming up, and hit it for other ones that are already out. Because I was like, wait, streaming when? Okay, I'm gonna take covers that day and watch that.
Hold on.
As an example, Shazam.
My internet is jacked up. Gosh dang it. All right. We're going to start. Danny, are you as excited as I am for the movies that are coming? Damn it.
Why, yes, Brock, I am.
Shut up. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I tried really hard, and this is staying in now. I don't care. I was gonna do that, but my internet screwed up. Okay. Anyway, go on. You were talking about Shazam. Is it
been a long day already, right?
Agreed.
Yeah, Shazam Fury of the Gods comes out next week, and I have it on my calendar because I didn't see it in the theater, and there's so many movies these days that I don't see in the theater, which is, I mean, like 90% of them.
That's parenting, right?
There's no way. I mean, I will say, though, we did go see the D&D movie, which is now out on streaming, and we're going to watch it at least one more time.
That was a fun surprise last night to see.
All of my kids stayed in their seats, watched the movie, paid attention the whole time.
Dang.
It was right. I didn't know what to do. I kept looking like, okay, who needs to get up? Who needs to go to the bathroom? What's going on here? Who spilled their drink? Nobody spilled their drink. Does anybody need a nap? Nobody needs a napkin. Okay. All right. I'm in some Twilight Zone.
Did you roll a D20 as you went in, and it was like,
nicely said. And yes, I did. Or
nice.
It's been years and years of practice and scolding and yelling at kids and losing my mind to no. But they all sat through it. It was amazing. So I'm not going to go to more movies now because I have to take generally all the kids, and it's just too expensive. I mean, we can't do it, we just can't. And then they all want popcorn, they want drinks, and I will say I could do a movie easily without popcorn and a drink. That's not a big deal, but it feels better when you have popcorn and a drink. I mean, it's part of the experience, and I wouldn't know how to take that away from my kids. So I mean, it's always going to be too expensive.
You got to have popcorn. I get that. That makes total sense. So I love the ability of being able to watch movies at home and hit pause and then go to the bathroom and come back. Like, to me,
not waiting for that commercial break.
Not waiting for anything.
Hearing someone yell while you're in the bathroom, it's on, and then scrambling across furniture to get back to the TV. No,
right. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. No Wonderful World of Disney on ABC to have to wait, like you said, wait for commercials. So,
D&D Honor Among Thieves and Quantumania.
Yeah, you got Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania. I wanted to go see that in the theater because I thought that would be super cool with all of the different elements that they were bringing into it, and to see it on a massive screen probably would have been neat because there was so much detail I saw in just trailers alone. But I am excited to watch it at home. I bought a larger TV last year for the sole purpose of being able to watch movies sort of in a movie-esque format. So I do have that ability, which is definitely nice. So I'm looking forward to that one. That one actually I came across last night on TikTok, and it came up, and I was like, called my daughter over. I'm like, Ruby, come here. And she's like, comes up beside me, and I'm like, look what comes out in 2 days. She's like, oh, she's all really excited about that. However, we probably won't watch it till we get back, till Hezekiah and I get back from our trip. But still, excited about that one. Yeah, maybe those are the only ones that I'm thinking of. But those are really big, exciting movies, honestly. So that's that's pretty cool.
And Quantumania has sparked a couple of interesting conversations around the house here, because I'm reading a book called Immune by Philip Detmer. He's the big YouTube guy.
Oh yeah, we've talked about him before. Yeah,
super smart. Yeah. So, and probably about this book Immune, and it's all about how your cells work and stuff. And we've been reading it while he's waiting on the bus, and it's talking about cells and like the proteins and stuff and things that are going on in your cells. And there's water molecules, and they can't travel through the water molecules. It takes longer because the water molecules are so much bigger than them, right? And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And Marcus, he's thinking about it. He's like, Dad, when Ant-Man gets really, really, really small, how does he breathe?
That's why he's got the mask on.
I went, he just breathe. What are you talking about? He goes, no, he's so much smaller than an oxygen molecule. How does he can't breathe an entire molecule even?
Oh, when he goes into like the quantum form?
Subatomic, yeah.
Or subatomic, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, because they take their helmets off down there. I mean, they don't,
don't ruin it for me. Don't ruin it.
No, I'm just saying they take. No, they did it in the previous movies.
They did, yeah. I know. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. And Quantumania looks amazing, and I love to see all the a whole city down there doing stuff and Kang and all that. But I went, I don't know how they breathe, buddy. I'm sorry. I don't even think I don't think I don't think there's a Wikipedia. I don't think you can Google it. I don't know if there's an answer to that.
But there is really an answer to that. My parenting answer to that is it's movie magic.
It is movie magic.
That's what I always say to my kids whenever I don't know. I'm like, it's movie magic. I feel like that's a reasonable answer.
Yep.
And I've yet to have anybody, either kid have been like, okay, like nobody's coming back with anything else because I don't know what they're coming back or what they would have to come back with.
Right.
Oh, but yeah, so definitely some cool movies coming out, which is exciting. I don't know about you, but a couple other things that are getting ready to happen are the end of the year for school.
Yes. How many more days you got?
We are done next Wednesday. So I've got, let's see, 2, 3, like 6 days left.
Oh, okay.
It's coming quick. It's coming quick. Yeah.
I've got 3 weeks. June 1st is our last day. So
yeah, we're done on the 24th, I think, of May is what it is. And Corey and I were talking about it last night. Like, how are we going to juggle this new element of life where both of us are working in a flexible yet still need to go into the office lifestyle and have the 2 kids? And it's like, we don't have the funds to just like shoo them off to camp or, so it's like, we got to be creative. And so we're working on all that. And it is stressful, but the communication is there. So that's helpful.
Good.
And we both want to see the other one succeed in their job. And I think that's a big key. And I think a lot of that plays off of the one post that I saw from a fellow stay-at-home dad on the closed Facebook group today, talking about feeling like a stay-at-home dad when you actually have a full or part-time job and how to balance that out with your spouse or your or your partner. And it's hard.
Yeah,
it's a hard conversation that has to be had.
You really hone in on how much stuff you take care of as an at-home parent.
Yep.
You really get an idea. Wait, okay, so what do we do now? I mean, one, the stuff around the house, of course. I mean, like who's going to do the laundry, who's going to do the dishes, who's going to do the cooking, all of that kind of stuff, of course. But then also all of that cognitive labor of like, okay, they're out of school in a week. What do we do the day after? Who's here and how are we going to get them where they need to go? And, where can we take them to somebody, if somebody else is going to be here or can we be here? And how to juggle all of that, man, that's just mind boggling.
Yeah. But I was thinking about it like this, stay-at-home parents in general, they cover everything. So it's all undercover. Like, the partner, like maybe they don't see everything that's going on. They just, hey, like they've got it, that kind of deal. But when you have two parents who are working, like those covers come off, because there are times where like the person who typically has it covered can't cover it. And so the other person sees like this hole or this gap of things. And either they don't know how to move towards it and deal with it, or two, they're surprised it's even there. And those are the times where it's frustrating, and you really have to bear down and not get agitated with your partner in the situation, but work to come to a solution that works for both of you, and realize that sacrifice is going to have to happen, and that has to be balanced as well, because if you don't balance the sacrifice, then you open up yourself for resentment towards the other person sometimes. So you really like it's stuff that I did not expect to have to really like deal with when we decided to do this, but we decided to do it together. It was a good, it was like, this is the time to do it. But then also too, it's like, oh, this is like a freaking ever-changing transformer. And like, how do you maneuver through all this stuff as it keeps coming down the gauntlet? So yeah.
And it really stresses how valuable it is just to communicate and sit down and look at everything that you have to do and decide whose responsibility it is. When you both, and especially, I mean, I think with any relationship, especially involving kids, you need to have that talk. You need to sit down and say, okay, I'm really good at laundry and you're terrible. So I'm going to take that, but I can't cook for crap. You are amazing. Why don't you do that? And leave it open for a little bit of course, back and forth. And maybe this changes after a little while because your situation changes, right? Even knowing, okay, I'm going back to work too. We'll see how this is. But what your responsibilities are at that job weren't known 100% like ahead of time. Like, well, I'm going to have a work day again this week. Or this event comes up and I'm actually going to have to go twice next week or something like that. And that ability to talk to your partner and say, okay. And like you said, you want her to succeed. She wants you to succeed. And so you're working towards that together. And that's really, I think, a big part of it. And that's why the communication is so important.
Definitely. And I wanted to just sort of bring that up really quickly. And I know that the person who this is specifically directed towards hopefully takes it as love. And I hope that also too, that their partner maybe gets to listen to this and understands that like this comes from a place of love. Because I do, but that couple specifically, like I have mass love for. So and it is a situation where communication definitely needs to come out of just that place. So hopefully anybody else that needed to hear it, it was encouraging for them as well.
Yeah. Cool.
So another thing that's coming up is Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
What plans does your family have? What do you guys do on that? Nothing. That's me too.
Zero. Yep. Nothing. That's Memorial Day, and you being a veteran, it's different for you, I'm sure. But while I do have family members who passed away that were veterans, and that I know this feeling, but they were all distant, and it's not people that I really know. So the memorial for our veterans who have fallen is a really special thing. I do hope that I can find something local to take the kids to, just to have a few, honestly, somber minutes to think about it and maybe listen to someone talk about it, but to be there and say, okay, this is the reality of where we live. We're here because they're not. They gave up their life so that we can have just to walk down the street and do whatever we want, to be here, to be able to come to this, thing and hear this speech without asking anybody, without, having to go do a curfew, or so many other freedoms that we own, that we have. And the reality of how very expensive that's been.
Yeah. So, for one of the things that I like to do for Memorial Day weekend is I I usually try to pick a couple of different like movies that have just depictions of the sacrifice that went on. There are some great movies out there. Dunkirk, Hacksaw Ridge, Saving Private Ryan. There's this Behind Enemy Lines. Like there's so many good movies out there. And honestly, like depending on the age of your kids, trying to explain to them, what Memorial Day weekend is about. Those movies are actually really, I feel like, good ways to say like this is what it's about. Like has nothing to do with I'd look at it as it's not really anything to do with like surviving veterans. It has to do with those who were lost in war, that kind of deal. So it's a completely different group of people. And like you said, like maybe you don't have a major connection. I don't have a connection really in my family with anybody specifically, because the people that I know that died in like World War II. So not anybody that I got to know. And so I don't really know their story, but some of the movies that are out there that actually depict that stuff, it gives me a better like look into what they went through. And so that's what I like to do. I find that since I enjoy movies, and I definitely enjoy war movies, I honestly like I could binge watch the heck out of war movies. Band of Brothers is a great series too.
Yes, and the Pacific. Have you seen the Pacific?
Oh yes, I did see the Pacific. That's another really good one. Yeah,
very. And again, I think that's total dad stuff. I honestly,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Point as a dad. That's a poor watching more movies now.
Pour a bourbon or a scotch.
It's a war movie, Yeah. I caught myself watching a documentary on the Korean War a while back.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, I had a question about what happened in this battle, and I don't even know how it came up. But I'm like, I'm just going to watch a documentary and see what they say happened, or see what how these events came to be. And yeah, I mean, Marnie comes in, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing." Turning it off. I'm not that old yet.
Pacific is the story not of Pearl Harbor that everybody knows. It's the story of like all these little islands that were fought over, and like thousands of soldiers lost their lives on those islands. And I didn't know that story. Man, I watched that thing and I was about 2 episodes in, and I was just like, I gotta have a box of Kleenexes by me because this is just too much. Like, but it was I didn't want to stop watching it either, because I was learning like what I felt was lost history that doesn't get taught in the schools. And so that to me was just like priceless in a way. I was like, man, like this is if it wasn't, and honestly, like it's really funny, if it wasn't for TikTok, I would have never knew that series even existed, because I saw like people because people tend to put clips of like movies and shows and stuff on there, and I'll see them, I'm like, that's interesting, and then I'll do like a Google search to like see what it is and stuff, and I Googled it, and I was just like, oh, I want to see that, because in that Pacific there's an actor who he's the kid from the original Jurassic Park. It's the Sledgehammer character.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's the little boy that gets like zapped off of the fence and toast. Yes, the human piece of toast. That's a great So that's Sledgehammer in the Pacific series, and so I saw a clip with him, and I was like, man, that kid looks familiar. And then I saw where someone commented who he was, and that's when I was like really intrigued. And honestly, the cast for that show is just so well done. But it's just like Band of Brothers. Like that cast is just
exactly
amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, and again, I'm not a veteran, but just watching what these guys, just the portrayal of what they went through, Currahee and all that. And just, hi-ho Silver. And I'm like, I would slap that guy. I would not be able to stop myself.
I have a hard time watching him.
One of my favorite characters in Friends, but I'm gonna slap you. And how did they not slap him? Right. It was hilarious. It was just it was really good too. And like you said, the characters, what was his name? Winters, who got like into command and became an officer. And the difference between what you'd seen everybody else doing and now he's an officer and what he has to do, and then getting into his mind on some of the battles that he went through, and it's just like, wow, it was really well done, well produced. The cinematography was amazing. It's all really a great series.
So definitely, if you're looking for something to do, definitely check into some of these different like war movie types, as long as it doesn't trigger anybody's PTSD with stuff, because that is definitely something I want to put out there as well. Like if you've been through some sort of traumatic thing, like if that's not going to work for you, totally understand that. But if you're somebody that likes that type of movie, I highly suggest, if you haven't seen one of those, to go out and do that for sure
with your kids.
Yeah, definitely with older kids.
Some kids, some movies.
I'm gonna tell you what, man.
Guy walking around with his arm. Where's my arm? It's in your hands, sir. It's not on your body. You might want to sit down.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's rough stuff. That was rough. But anyway.
Yeah. So no, you're fine. So along with that, I will say I love having this kind of conversation, because this is the kind of conversation too that takes place at home DadCon, when you're just sitting around with some friends, like just chatting up like what you watched or whatever else. And there's been a lot of buzz about home DadCon, because it is only, I don't even know how many weeks away, but it's not very much. You got the countdown somewhere? I see you looking around this year. 4 months. Okay, 4 months away. That's coming up quick.
I don't have the weeks down because I don't remember the exact date, but I think it's like 18 weeks at most.
Still though, 4 months, it's coming around. I'm honestly waiting in anticipation for the speaker announcements to come out, because I'm lucky enough to actually get to see some of that coming through, and I'm just like, can we talk about it yet? And I know that that's not the case, so we'll just put that little hint, wink out there, a little carrot.
There are some excellent speakers.
There are
some really good breakout scheduled, some really, I will say some very important and like literal career development stuff as a parent, and also some heavy stuff, just a few things that are like, okay, so we also need to talk about this.
And very relevant topics that definitely, and some really awesome returning speakers as well. We got some really good new ones, and we've got some really good returning ones, and that's I'm excited about that mixture of folks that are going to be there as well for that. So but the one thing that I do want to make sure that people know about is that one, definitely get registered as soon as you can, but along with that too, if you're going and you think that hey, I'd like to go, I need a roommate or whatever it is, like definitely want to get in touch with the Discord channel, or put it out there like through the Facebook group if you're only in that or whatever, and let people know that you're thinking of going, that this is where I'm at or whatever it is. Like put it out there, because people are looking for roommates as a big one. If you're in a place where you are not sure financially you can go, like we've talked about before, we've got the scholarship, and you still have time to apply for that. And so that's another thing. And then booking rooms, like that's the other thing. So last Thursday, thank you NFL, has made schedule release night a big thing for one. But along with that, they announced that the Green Bay Packers are playing at home that Sunday night, that the convention is wrapped up, but still people will be coming in, I guarantee, on a Saturday night, maybe even Friday to grab up rooms to be closer to the stadium.
Going fast.
They are. Yep. They really are.
We really can't expand our block at this point, because we know we're going to rent all of those rooms. So if you're out there waiting, stop waiting.
Yeah, stop waiting. Just know that when you reserve a room too, that it's not coming off of your card automatically. It's just a hold. That's the other thing. Like we get that question all the time. Like, so if you're like, I don't have that kind of money, but I've got like a credit card or whatever, like just call them up, put it on there. It's not going to get charged. It's just a hold. I've gone in before with one card. I've gone in and held a room with one card and changed it up and paid with a completely different card before. So it totally can be done. But we just don't want anybody to miss out on being able to get a room, be on site for everything. There are other hotels that are close by that if we do run out of room space, that you would need to look into. And unfortunately, the room rate that we have procured from the Hyatt does not transpire to other hotels. So you're kind of on your own for that.
And you're not going to enjoy it as much. You're going to hate at the end of the day. Like, are we still hanging out? Yeah, we're going to my room to hang out. Oh, I'm going to go across the street and go to bed. Sad. Don't be sad. Get a room.
No, it won't be. It won't be that. It'll be that. It'll just be that they found out that they spent all their time over at the hotel, and then they stumbled or sleepily walked across to their room on the other side of the street or whatever. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring that up because definitely time is ticking fast away, and there's also a lot of really cool extra activities that are being planned as well. And those are something that we typically don't talk about too much outside of the like Discord for Home Dad Con, just because it's one, we don't want to make people feel bad because they can't be there. That's the biggest thing. Danny and I have talked about some of the stuff on here before. But the more integral pieces of planning it and all that kind of stuff takes place after you register, get your Home Dad Con ticket, and get put into the Discord channel, and then really get connected with the guys who are going to be there in attendance so that you can have all those conversations. So I basically just put that out there to hopefully encourage anybody that's sitting on the fence to, if you've got the ability to get your ticket or whatever, do it so that you can get in on the conversations that are taking place.
And I will always happily talk about all those activities, even if someone's not going to make it. I'm just going to say, because I'm very excited and there's exciting things going on. And there's some of the stuff, though, I really feel like I know there are guys out there like, I'm not really sure I'm going to go. Wait, you're going to do that? Oh, man. I'll find out. Hang on. Let me figure out a way to do it. And because there's some really cool stuff. And there's a lot of cool stuff in that area, Well,
yeah, I mean, fine. We'll just put it out there. I mean, Lambeau Field is definitely.
Don't do it.
I'm doing it. I'm putting it out there. Lambeau Field, Lambeau, right? Historical football field. Lots and lots of history. I mean, if you didn't like Aaron Rodgers, now he's not there, so you can definitely come check out the Packers.
I'm doing a tour of Lambeau.
Yeah,
going down, they're getting a van and driving down there. It is, I think it's about an hour away from Milwaukee.
2 hours, I've heard. It's 2 hours.
Okay. But driving down there with the other dads, hanging out,
which is always
doing the
fun.
Tour, and then stopping at a brewery on the way back. You got a designated driver. Yeah, that's your day, man. That's
yeah. So that's
a great event.
That's going to be a good event, definitely. I think Greg has got a brewery hop taking place that evening or something like that too. So that's going to be, I don't know what's going on during the day. There's a group, I think it's full, doing something with D&D, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm sorry, sir. Why don't you just let me talk about that?
Nope.
All right. So the original creator
I rolled a 1.
Dungeons and Dragons. You did roll a 1, man. It's all right. It's all right. I scored a touchdown to put it in your lingo. So Gary Gygax, who created Dungeons and Dragons, his house is there, and it's about 45 minutes out of it. But we're driving to. Well, I don't know if I'm committed yet because it's a full day, but going to play a game of D&D in his basement.
Is he there
at his house? No, he's dead. He might be there, but we won't see
in
him.
Spirit. He's there in spirit.
He might knock some dice over or something. I don't know.
There's an urn sitting somewhere.
His sister owns the house and she does tours. She has T-shirts. If you come in and you can have, and I think we've got we need 7 people total that we're going to play. We're all going to go down in Gary Gygax's basement. We're going to order pizza from the place he ordered pizza from. And
it sounds very much like Stranger Things
in his house. It's mind-boggling, and I have to say I'm really on the fence about it personally. I want to in a lot of ways. I'm not so enamored of Gary Gygax personally because I just never really knew of him I just played the game and then I figured out who he was later. And it's going to be, I mean, it's a full day D&D game. So you're going to talk about, it'll be like 7-8 hours, you know, it's a commitment. And
that's a very epic sounding trip, honestly, for anybody who is like hardcore into Dungeons and Dragons.
And I mean, it's just, and all of our, I don't know how to put it, our Apex nerds are coming out of the woodwork for sure. Our Apex nerds have shown up and we know who you are, and you know who you are, and it's not, you know, I'm a huge nerd, so it's not a criticism or an insult, but it was, yeah, like wait, what? We could do what? Oh man, yeah, I'm going. I'll figure it out. So yeah, D&D at Gary Gygax's house. Oh, that's just mind-boggling.
I'm just waiting for the one guy who's like, I'm going to ride my Huffy bicycle if I can't get in one of the cars to get there.
With a banana seat.
No, not the banana seat, just like the actual Huffy, man, with, you know, just that.
The first BMX.
That's right, man. Oh, yeah. I mean, it sounds like a really awesome, like if it was something that I was into. Right.
I would go to Lambeau Field if I was in any way interested in like sports.
See, I'm not, I like football, but I'm not that into Lambeau Field. Like,
but you're going to not football, but
I'm looking at going to Wrigley Field. However, that's not like happening to the extreme that I thought it was going to be. It's, you know, Lambeau's taken up a lot of people, which I completely understand. What I'm probably going to end up doing is, since I'm going to be going up earlier, is going to the game on Tuesday night, actually. Just with like, I think it's going to be me and Joe and maybe Joshua Bernstein. I'm not sure. He's trying to figure out what he's doing. But then Wednesday I would be in Milwaukee for the day. Like, that's because Joe wants to be there for like the brewery hop and stuff like that. Which that to me sounds like a blast because there are so many up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna do that. But if anybody else is coming in on Tuesday and wants to go, like, hit me up, because that would be fun to get a few more guys to definitely go.
And we're gonna hang out with the folks from Drink Wisconsin.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
And they're gonna teach us how to make an old fashioned.
I'm super pumped about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
That's my geeking out right there.
And we originally were thinking, I think, that we were gonna go over there and like take up one of their big rooms or whatever with the game in town. They're not going to have space. They're going to send somebody over to the hotel to.
Oh, are they now going to do that? Okay.
I don't know for sure, but I think they'd have to, because with the game in town, come on.
Well, it's also old fashioned. You know, it's also like National Old Fashioned Day on the 22nd, I believe, too. So that's the other part of it.
Perfect timing.
But that's really cool, though. I'm super excited about that, because I feel like I've definitely tried to make an old fashioned, and I mean, it's not been anything that has been great. So it would be awesome to have a better knowledge of that. And I understand too, they're going to be doing some mocktails as well for that event, which I'm really happy that, you know, we're able to also have that as well.
And they said that they do not carry that normally. They don't have a mocktail menu normally.
Yeah,
but they will make up something for us, because we do have several members who are sober or dry or just don't drink, like me.
Which to me, like, that is just awesome that a business would do that. Like, they see that, hey, we can't just cater to one side of this. We need to both, you know, be able to cater to this entire group, and for them to be able to flex like that is just that's a business that gets it. That's people that get it. And so I was really excited when I saw that start getting talked about in the planning committee. I was like, oh man, that's cool. So
yeah, super cool.
Yeah. But other than all of those things, there's really not a whole lot else that is going on to talk about. So I hope that everybody gets a chance to sit down, watch a good movie with your family, bond with your kids, bond with your family, enjoy those last couple of weeks of school where your kids are away and it's just you at the house. You know, you do. Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah, I do. When they leave, I'm like, oh, can you hear that? Yeah, neither can I. It's just quiet, you know. And then Marty will come in and like, go back in your office. I'm enjoying the quiet. Come on, give me a moment, But every day, I love it. I love it.
I have one more Monday where I get to actually just curl up on the couch with the blanket after they go to school and just chill out. Because Sunday and Mondays are my days off from work. So I usually on Monday, I basically curl up and just watch Bar Rescue or something and doze off.
Recharge.
Yeah, recharge. Exactly.
Recharge.
So hopefully you get a recharge this week in some kind of way, and we'll be back next week. I believe we'll have a guest next week, if I'm not mistaken. So,
speaking of speakers,
oh yeah, okay, yeah, there you go. That
for Home Dad Con.
That's right. So we'll have one of our first speakers on for Home Dad Con, so you won't want to miss that. So have a great week. We'll see you again real soon.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.